IPMNation.com.
Counterpunch Media Live in 3, 2, 1.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to Mortal Up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Day once again, morning if you're listening live, good day wherever you are. If you're listening to the on demand, thank you so very much for stopping by and hanging out for the 445th episode of the #1 rated All Natural Being, and of course my good friend the gong heard round the world, your snooze alarm's sworn enemy, radio. As I say all the time, radio that sparks your smart, that builds your strong. Because here's the thing. If you're here, I believe you have a legendary to let loose. And to that end, we're serving up the best thoughts in the history of thinking. And I'm fired up to be your virtual hitchhiker as I am every morning, riding shotgun as you get into whatever time of the day you're in. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up, to crush your cant and your critics. I have a mortar and pistol. Just crush your critics. So what do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. And if you've been following of late, we've got some news. Jennifer says, good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Nice to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. You know, I do my best. I really do, where I say, okay, great. I'd like to do heroes making headlines, right? We could accommodate that. Heroes making headlines. But this morning's Low Life Makings headlines is going to blow you away. Just at the utter stupidity, and I don't even like to use that word, just the utter ignorance, the utter moronic attitude, just all of it, all wrapped into one. Good morning, Heather. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by so bright and early. All right, let's do this before we get started. As you know, you can call me 833-MIND-UPS, 833-646-3877. Toll-free, 100% toll-free, absolutely no charge. Give me a call. Let me know what you're up to today. Also, you can text that number. Now, here's what we're doing with text, because everyone says after the show, they go, oh, well, did you mention that standard rates may apply? Here's the thing. If you get a phone bill and there's a rate for like a nickel, a dime, couple pennies, whatever it is, you let me know, and I'll send that to you. So technically, right, your texts are free as well. Just let me know, and I'm on top of it. Now, if you're running around, good morning, Brian and friends. Well, Heather, nice to see you as well. So here's what we're going to do. If you're out and about running around today, here's the QR code up on the screen now, and you know how that, right? You know how that works. All you have to do, come on over, hold up your phone. So if you're watching the show and you go, yeah, I got to get out the door. Maybe Amy. Good morning, Amy. Amy's like, oh, I can watch like 10 minutes, but then I got to go. Then you hit the QR code. It's right. Our show is brought to you right on the phone. There it goes. If you're watching on Facebook, there it goes. And you can take it with you as you see fit. Getting into your day, taking us to ride shotgun however you see fit. Also, I want a very special thank you to the folks listening at Spotify, at iHeartRadio as well, iTunes, and also, what's the other one? Spreaker, just to name a few. I want to thank you so very much for all that. Now, this morning, I could use a little bit of help if it's cool with everyone here. I would like to, as I've said to you before, one of the things that we're doing, is we're ramping up so that as I get through however many days I have left, right, as we get through the little shindig that I have planned at the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium, we get through that little shindig, that little soiree in the day on the 23rd, we're doing things so that as I ramp back up and they go, no heavy lifting, no bar fights. That's a tough one. No mountain biking, no kickboxing, none of this. So what I'm thinking is great. I'm going to really learn how to do this radio thing, right? Like I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that I'm nailing this at all levels. So to that end, we've got some people, and if you don't mind, I'd love to run a couple of them by you this morning, see what you think, just in terms of some of the others. Then you can let me know, ladies, right here in the thread, if you will. Let me know what you're thinking, and then we'll get to low life making headlines. Unless you think, let's get that out of the way, then we can come back and do all this. And I also have my 5 books that I'm taking to my 5th brain surgery, 5 books and 1 website. If we get a chance to get to that. And we'll do something a little more formal tomorrow. And then Thursday morning, we're going to do, what I'm using to keep my immune system balanced, in equilibrium. What I'm doing, right, to keep everything going just right as we move forward. Janice, good morning. Nice to see you. Thanks for the follow on Instagram as well. And I know you're watching over on Twitter. Thank you very much for that. Don't forget, you can watch here on Facebook. Until they kick me off, and then I'll just refer to them as Mug Pamphlet. Or you can also watch live. The show live is over on YouTube and on Twitter. Thanks to our good friend Wayne Noel back in control, who is always up and about and going, okay, well, let's do this, let's do that. So he's getting it out everywhere. All right, so this morning, let's do this. Let's do the Low Life's Making Headlines, and you all can tell me what you think. All right, so yesterday, you're saying to yourself, Brad, this is a cautionary tale about catching a flashing news thing. And I go, yeah, I know. But this particular reporter was interviewing the former FBI Director James Comey. And James Comey's sitting there, and this reporter's name is Christiane Amanpour, who I've had a lot of respect for prior to yesterday. But Christiane Amanpour is getting our title this morning of the Low Life Making Headlines because what she says, live TV, I know, and you're thinking, maybe it was a puppet. Maybe it really wasn't her. Maybe it was a stand-in, right? Maybe it was like a wax doll, and they just made their lips move. I'm thinking, if you're going to make a wax doll, it's not going to be a Christiane Amanpour, but, I'm open for any conspiracy theory. So she's interviewing James Comey, and she says, well, look, in retrospect, do you regret, as being ahead of the most powerful law enforcement organization in the world, that when all these different people had these thoughts, all these different people had sayings when it came to Hillary Clinton, like lock her up or, any of these other things? She asks on live TV with all seriousness. It wasn't a Saturday Night Live skit because it was during the day, and I checked to make sure it was live, not recorded, because you'd think, this has to be a Saturday Night Live skit. She says, live, right then, well, shouldn't you have shut down that speech? Shouldn't you have gone after people using that speech? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. A part of being human, a part of exercising your all-natural being is, in my estimation, is being able to say what you think in the moment. And if you want to chant lock her up, here's a reporter, a television reporter with a lot of street cred, television reporter saying, the police should have stomped that down. Stomp down the First Amendment? I mean, I know everyone's doing everything they can to stomp down the Second Amendment, but Christiane Amanpour is now rooting and saying, hey, we should stomp down the First Amendment. Don't you feel bad in retrospect, James Comey, that you didn't ride in and squelch all this free speech? Squelch all this? A reporter on live TV. So yes, our low life making headlines for today, as much as it pains me, it's Christiane Amanpour, and you'd think to yourself, are you kidding me? Really? In this country? You don't like this country? Leave this country. Look, any country in the world, because I know I have good friends listening in Australia, friends listening in South America, and friends and family listening from Europe this morning. So it's not just this country, any country. If your government, if your media, if your institutions, if your environment says to you, you don't get to say what you think, you don't get to say what you feel, or we're going to send the police in, we're going to send the Gestapo, we're going going to send whatever term you want to use for it. If you're watching Star Wars, we're going to send in the stormtroopers to squelch your speech. And she was serious as a heart attack. And right, since I've never had a heart attack, people go, well, that's a little crass. Let me put it this way. She was serious as a fifth brain surgery for a brain tumor. She absolutely believed in that moment that the FBI should have squelched that speech, earning her this morning's low-life making headlines. All right, also want to say hello to Brett. Brett, thank you so very much for watching, joining us here at All Natural Being. All right, so before we get into this, if I could get a little bit of help, these were some of the promos that were recorded yesterday that'll be announcing our show. Now, something else that you should probably know is that on the 23rd, when I go under the bone Dremel, when I go under the Dremel on the 23rd, we're going to keep the show going. Now, instead of a best of, right? Instead of a best of where they go, oh, well, we edited this, we did that. What I'd like to do is I'm going to record a week or two of shows and knowing, like, if you're reading this, I'm in surgery right now. If you're listening to this, right, if you're taking a part of this on-demand broadcast, I'm in day 1 of recovery. Or if you're listening to this, I'm in day 2 of recovery. So we're going to do what we can to keep those broadcasts going so that you will be able to tune in every morning. And instead of listening to a best of, you'll be like, this is exactly what Brian's thinking about as he lies there with, I hate those leg things that they put on you every time that, pulsate to keep your blood moving, but keep my blood boiling is what it does. But you'll know that those shows are being recorded with that actual event in mind. All right. Good morning also to Lee Rowley. Lee, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for your expertise yesterday at lunch. I super appreciate it. And I should mention, Lee's going to be one of the guests that's hanging out for IPM Nation's International Block Party. Now, it's going to be a week from this Saturday for those of you that are better at a calendar than I am. Of course, that means April 13th. We'll be going 13 hours on the 13th, 11 a.m. Eastern till 12 midnight. We're going to be doing that all in support and backing Brian's Brain Trust, or the Brian Brain Trust, I should say. So we're going to interview hosts. We're going to of shows here on IPM Nation. We're going to be talking to all kinds of cool people. It's just going to be 13 hours of fun. It's like a huge on-air block party. And if I could say this, for the people that have already, and you know who you are, right? I won't mention a bunch of names, but for the people that have gone over to the GoFundMe page for Brian Brain Trust, I want to super thank you. And here's one of the things that's jumped out in mind. And you think, oh, okay, well, how many people have shared the GoFundMe story? As of last night, before I hit the sack, 400 of you all. 400. Some people I know, some people I don't know. 400 people have shared the GoFundMe story. Now, over 41, 42, 43, somewhere around in there, have donated. But some donate dollars, some donate their time to do that share. But over 400 people, and they've pushed it to such a degree that we're already at just like 20 days or 21 days, 3 weeks maybe, we're already at a quarter of what we over a quarter of what we have set as a goal. So what I wanted to mention in terms of all that, before we get to the shout outs and tell me what you think, is that some of these people I don't even know. I've never met. Like, I'll go into Facebook and go, okay, who is this person? And they're not even connected. I'm not even friends. I'm not even friends of their friends. There's not even mutual friends. So here's people that simply feel, which is why I get sick and tired. And I'm willing, like this guy, our low life making headline for Monday, the one that attacked the 89-year-old protester, why I'm so sick of people slamming humanity. Here's some really cool folks that don't even know me. Now, arguably, you could say, well, Brad, they've heard you on the radio or they've heard you show this, that. Don't know. But some of these people, right? And you see some people that throw in $10. You see some people that throw in $1,000. And I have to tell you that it just reaffirms my belief in standing up to people that would water down human wherewithal, that stand up to people that want to dehumanize human beings. Now, before everyone gets going, good morning, Lee, to you as well. Before everyone gets going, I don't mean dehumanization like, oh, he had some very vicious things to say. Well, I don't think there's violent language, right? I think your ears let it in. It's not violent until you let it in, right? If it's UPS and they deliver you a package, oh, can you sign for this package? And you go, hell no, I'm not signing for this package. Then you don't get the angst. You don't get the stress. You don't get the anger. You don't get the vitriol. You don't get everything that's on the inside. So just don't sign for the package. But watching this campaign the way I have, and I should thank Subi McCann, again, for everything that she's done to that end. Watching this campaign and watching complete strangers go, nah, you know what, we'll back Brian's brain. I super, super appreciate it, and it rekindles my absolute belief. And if you're going to bully someone, come bully me first. If you make it through me, then we'll see what we're going to do. But if you're going to bully another human being, if you're going to be mean, if you're going to be this or that, then you should run it past me. You should come and I'll take me home as your trophy. We could keep that. I think that would be a good way to do it. All right, good morning also to Karen. Karen, nice to see you. Always nice to see your avatar pop up in the thread. Thank you so very much for joining us. Please tell the big guy we said hello. All right, this morning, before we get to the 5 books on the one website, and we'll do an official show about that tomorrow morning. Before we get to the 5 books on the one website, I would like to get your opinion on some of these things. Oh, and also, I don't want to forget this, right? But our Up in 30 guarantee, again, thanks to Parker Brawdy for the artwork. But our Up in 30 guarantee is within 30 minutes, within the top of the hour. When this show is over, you'll be able to go to ipmnation.com/thebry, and you'll be able to get this show queued up, ready to go, right at the top of the hour. That's our Up in 30 guarantee. And I'm working, every day I got to learn a little more on how to do it, but that's our Up in 30 guarantee is in effect. All right, so here's what we're doing this morning. As a part of my recovery, we know, right, I'm not going to be able to lift and to do a lot of physical manual stuff, right? I'll be sleeping and more sleeping, and then, right, we'll get up and then go back to doing more sleeping. If the first 4 brain surgeries are any indication of how this is going to go, this is how it's going to play out. But as a part of my recovery, I want to learn how to get better, a lot better at doing radio. So to that end, we've recorded some different things, and I thought maybe I could play a half a dozen of them for you this morning, and you can give me your idea of what you think. All right, so we have this one. Tell me what you think of this one.
You're listening to the #1 all-natural being with Brian Brawdy.
On IPMNation.com, The Bry.
Ooh, IPMNation.com, The Bry. I like that one. And I like the combination of the male-female voice. You let me know what you think. We'll call that #1. Let's see what this one is.
Brian Brawdy. On IPMNation.com, The Bry.
I love it when people, like it's the old debate. Is it lemon or limone? Limone, is that how he says it's pronounced now? Smell it or smell it or smole or whatever it is, right? But then you think, Monet, right? We don't call him Monet. We don't say, when we go to order a steak, we don't say fillet, we say filet. So maybe there's something to it. But I love it when these announcers try to nail a Brawdy. Listen to this again. You ready?
Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com, The Bry.
Brian Brawdy. Okay, so here are a couple of my favorites, and please let me know what you think. I love her voice.
You're listening to your snooze alarm sworn enemy, all natural being.
Snooze alarm sworn enemy. I think that one's a keeper. And by saying I like her voice, it doesn't mean I don't like his voice, right? Right. Especially for my brother Ian in England, right? I think it's a great voice.
You're listening to All Natural Being, radio that sparks your smart.
Ooh, I like that. Thank you very much. Radio that sparks your smart. That might be a keeper, and I do dig her voice.
If you're looking for thought-provoking attitude,
you've come to the right place. Here's Brian.
Thought-provoking attitude. I like that. Someone said the other day, you're like a heavy-duty agitator in a washing machine. And I wanted to give him a hug. But then I didn't want to be like all Joe Biden. So I'm like, maybe I better not give him a hug. Maybe I'll do like Knuckles, something like that. All right, here we go.
In the market for a winning mindset?
Ooh.
You've come to the perfect place.
Ooh.
IPMNation.com, The Bry.
Okay, in the market for a winning mindset. Well, aren't we all? You've come to the right place, they say. Okay, great. So what is that? So what did I do there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's good. Let's try this one.
Connect with us on allnaturalbeing.com.
I like that. All right, allnaturalbeing.com. Here you go.
Check us out 24/7 on mortalup.com.
Ooh, mortalup.com. There's a good one. I like this one. Now, this reminds me of my good friend David Ray Bowman, who did one, but let's try what this one is.
On the go? Great. We're on your phone and on demand. IPMNation.com, The Bry.
The Bry. And of course, I have this one.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com, The Bry.
the Bry. Ashley, thank you very much for that. So they're just some of the ones that were recorded yesterday, and I'd love to know what you think because, as I said, right, I want to try to make this as best as I can, and that's a part of it is saying trying to learn from radio people. You remember all this started when I went to whatever it is here, the River in Columbus, and asked them if I could be an intern, right? And they didn't have to pay me. I would do anything. So I probably don't want me working in the garage since I don't know a spark plug from an oil pan. Although I know how to leak spinal fluid. I could cut the grass. I could shovel. Well, maybe I can't shovel the sidewalks. Doctors would frown on that. But there's some. I'll empty trash. I'll vacuum. I could dust. As long as you don't tell my wife. I could dust some. That'd be good. We could do all that. And, they said no. And all I wanted to do, it was learn, like, some of these things, right? All I wanted to do was say, okay, great. Could we, could you teach me the board? Could you teach me some of these other effects? Could you teach me, any of these other things coming up? You know what? They were like, no, don't think we can. Never mind. Not going to happen. So I'm like, are you kidding me? And they said no. So I had to learn this on my own. So that was what was born out of some of these things was just me going, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this the right way. And of course I have this one. Tell me what you think of this.
You tired of the snake oil? Go to allnaturalbean.com.
I love that. That's my good friend. Excuse me, that's my good friend Bob Lockwood. Makes me laugh every time I hear it. And, of course, we'll round out with this one this morning.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Radio for the rare breed.
Radio for the rare breed. And I'm missing one. Talk about, I don't know what I did. But in any event, there's supposed to be one more on there. But just to give you an idea, that's what I'm going to be doing. So through my recovery, I'm going to be learning some of the ins and outs, some of the other things that we can do, right, in order to make this, to continually grow, to continually try to get better, because it's brand new for me, for whatever that's worth. All right, so this morning I wanted to get to, if I can continue to breathe, we're going to do, excuse me. We're going to do this, our MortalUp.com campaign. I'm very excited. I talked to Lee about it yesterday. MortalUp.com, the sign should be here today, and I'm going to be a street vendor, right? I'm going to be a guerrilla. Am I allowed to say guerrilla? I'm going to be a guerrilla marketing person, right? Where I hold these signs up, and it's going to just say Mortal Up to draw people to the website, right? To draw people here in the Columbus area. And I've got some strategic places, locations, some streets picked out where I'm thinking, maybe someone driving down the way here, right? And I'm thinking this will totally catch them off guard. So we'll be doing that. The MortalUp.com campaign, probably put a big push into it right up till the surgery. And then who knows after the surgery, maybe I'll get like one of those electric wheelchairs and, I'll roll up and down with a Mortal Up sign until I'm able to walk, and then until I'm able to jog, and until I'm able to run. So, but I wanted to keep you abreast of what was going on. You might see me on a street corner near you. And thanks to my good friend Lee Rowley, you might very well, if not see me on a street corner, you'll at least see me on a computer coming to you because, yes, it's Commando. Yes, it's Grassroots. Yes, it's all these things. However, we're going to be broadcasting, maybe not live. Maybe we could do live. You never know. But we're going to broadcast the video of me, right, out on a street corner, moving the signs, doing all this. Maybe I'll do one like Mortal Up. And I'll bring it up into your field of view, something like that. So we'll be doing that for certain coming up here in the next 20 some odd days. So all right, so I wanted to get to it this morning before I run out of time. The 5 books that I'll be taking with me, and then maybe what we'll do. Oh, look at that! They talk about no dead air. Look at that! That was a black screen simply because I tried to. Oh, what am I trying to do? I don't even know what I'm trying to do. Am I trying to do this? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, don't forget, you can send me a text if you like, 833-646-3877, 833-646-3877. And, of course, you can also call us. It's toll-free. It's text-free. It's all those other things because if you get a bill from the phone company, right, like they're not making billions already, they're going to bill you and me 3 cents for sending a text. If you get a bill from the phone company, just let me know what the text bill is, and I'll go ahead and make sure we take care of that. All right, so this morning we're talking about the 5 books that I'll be taking with me to my 5th brain surgery and 1 website. So given the time constraint, let's get through the 5 books this morning, and I'll have an official graphic and everything else tomorrow, but let's get through the 5 books this morning because these are books that I think, if you spend a little time with, you might dig them. as well. So the first one is David Goggins. If you haven't had a chance to read his book, Can't Hurt Me, you may want to check that out. Really inspirational guy, and not like a motivational speaker, right? He's not on stage jumping around like Rocky and Bullwinkle, getting people to clap their hands, all the bells and whistles of a Las Vegas slot machine. Not that kind of motivation. Dig in, nitty-gritty, never say no to any of life challenges kind of motivation, and it's David Goggins, and the book is called Can't Hurt Me. That will be book number 1. Now, book number 2, and Ryan Holiday is a pretty prolific author. I think he's probably got 3 or 4 books. The Ego is the Enemy, The Daily Stoic, and this and that. But the book that I've chosen, and one that I really dig, Ryan Holiday, called The Obstacle is the Way. The Obstacle is the Way. That'll be book number 2. Now, when I say books, I mean both printed, right? I'll have my Kindle with me, so I'll take my Kindle when I read some of these books. But I also have the Audible version of these books. So I don't know if you know this, but it's linked, so you can be reading, and then you nod off, right? You go, oh man, I fell asleep. What happened? Then when you pick up Audible, it picks up right where you left off in the reading. So you have audible.com so you can listen. So when I say the 5 books, I'll be taking the printed, right? Some of them are printed though. Some of them are printed as I look around at all the bookshelves, but I'll be taking either the printed version, the Kindle version, or the Audible version of these 5 books. So David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. If you get a chance to check out that book, absolutely great one. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk, I had the original Crush It book where I took from way back when to the very first surgery, the very first brain surgery. I had Gary's book. I took that with me. And so you'll go, oh, Brian, look at that. That's an old book. Yes, it is. But I'm taking the other book, a next book, a second book, an additional book that he's done called Crushing It. I'll be taking that one with me, and it's because I'm just a huge fan of his writing. So that will be book number 3, Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, Dave Asprey has a book out called Headstrong. Now, Dave made his claim to fame, bulletproof coffee, I'm going to biohack your body, this and that and everything else. So I'm still a little out on the whole concept of biohacking. I just like the idea. I like the title Headstrong. So the 4th book that I'll be taking with me is Dave Asprey's Headstrong. And it's just him, and he's talking, and also another voiceover artist is talking about all the different things that you can do to mortal up, right? I think to tap into your all-natural being. So I'll be taking that one as well. Now, Vishen's got a really cool book called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. I'll be taking his book with me, and that will round out the 5th book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, right? We can, I'm not saying that I have an extraordinary mind. I'm just saying, right? A kid can dream, can he? Even 49, 10, or 11 times over. A kid can dream, can he? So I'll be taking The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. All right, we're going to run out of time, so let's do this. Tomorrow, we have the website. Now, everyone says, oh, I really like this website or that website. But this is a website that's meant quite a bit to me, and the gatherer, the author, the person that's really responsible for this, she's just an impeccable talent, just a really smart woman. And I'll be taking, so what I do is when she comes up, she sends newsletters, we're talking about different things over on her website, and I'm going to be printing those off. So we'll go through all of that tomorrow morning. All right, it's just about time to get out of here. Thank you so very much for indulging me. If you heard a particular, I think I'm going with this one.
You're listening to your snooze alarm sworn enemy, All Natural Being.
Right, and it's not just snooze alarm in the morning. It could be snooze alarm if you're going through your day and you're just not paying attention to your all-natural being. You're just not working to put your heart's highest priority top of your list, right? It could be a snooze alarm for any time of the day. I like that one. I think we're going to be keeping that one. All right, we're going to get out of here until tomorrow morning. Remember to always bring your own bold. Whatever you're up against, you know that you can handle it. I said the other day, there's nothing to fear. If you look at everything in life as fortuitous, everything in life, every little stinking thing in life is in some way fortuitous to your overall development, then really, what is there to fear? All right, we're going to get out of here. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Don't forget to mark your calendar, the IPM Nation's International Block Party for the Brian Brain Trust. Thank you all so very much. 1 week from this coming Saturday, be April 13th, 11 a.m. to midnight Eastern time. So we're very fired up about that. All right, we're going to get out of here. We will see you bright and early.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
Will you look at that? I still have 7 seconds to spare. So let me say goodbye to Karen and to Lee and to Brett and to Amy, to Heather. Thank you so much. And of course, Jennifer, thank you so very much for joining us. There we are, top of the hour. Goodbye.
IPMNation.com.